conquered all the way in the north and come back down to Accra to conquer. Billy Shen is conquered. Yeah, he went to the central region, finished them. Stanley Nible, who is in Accra, he conquered them. Godwin has set the bar. My God. Anti-proud. I am very, very proud. It's 19 minutes after 8 on 3FM 92.7 here on Sunrise on 3FM. When we finish with our journalists, we'll now get into a conversation about Galamsey and many other issues that are rising. But now, let's put some drip and drip and drip on our journalists. Yeah. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning,
good
Johnny.
Morning.
Congratulations to you, Castro.
Thank you very much.
And to you, Bill.
Thank you, Johnny.
This is big honor.
Yeah.
Down to you both.
Yeah.
How much food did you eat, Castro? Bill couldn't tell me.
I'm yet to take breakfast, actually.
No.
Yes.
On Saturday.
On Saturday. Oh, yes. Saturday, I didn't even know there was, food being served,
You didn't realize
I didn't realize. I realized, the time I got to know it was late.
When I won 3 GJ awards for morning show of the year, 3 years in succession.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's a triple trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much food did you eat at that time?
Plenty. because the food was free.
It was free.
And
drink. Yeah, true.
Food is free.
Yes,
I ate. But congratulations, guys. Castro, what was your story about?
My story was about the threats of terrorism and then cross-border crime in border communities along the Burkina border in the Upper East region.
Right.
I shed light on the fact that there wasn't much done as far as fighting the threat of terrorism and that of cross-border crime is concerned. And I started the story off from Mayoro, where the chiefs and people self-initiated a police station project so that they are able to, defend themselves in the event of unforeseen circumstances. Yes, and I also went further to talk about the fact that the embarrassing rude nature of these communities along the border with Burkina Faso stifled the fight against the threat of terrorism because security agencies were not able to patrol these border communities effectively. If you take Myra, for instance, 2 out of 3 important bridges have collapsed. And as I speak now, Johnny, they haven't been reconstructed. And so that is a big blow on the fight against terrorism. And I generally wrote the story about that. And it was big, Johnny, it was big.
It was?
Yeah, it was big.
Bill, what did you... Well, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
But remind us.
Yeah.
You went to the central region.
Yeah.
You saw, and the Volta region. You saw what had to be reported.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yeah.
But run us through.
Yeah. So central region. At first, actually, the first time I spotted this guy was through Twitter. So I saw a video of Gilbert Ampia, who is a GHS student at Kofi BA. He was clearing a bar, which I saw and I realized even I couldn't clear that bar.
Right.
He was, doing the jump and doing it so well. And I asked, whoever posted it, I asked him that how
clearing
can I get
a drinking bar or
no.
So Bar Association.
So usually high jumpers, when they jump over something, we call it clearing the bar. So
okay.
Yeah, so he was clearing the bar.
Now you know.
Now I follow.
Agbebola. How much is money?
So he was clearing the bar so effortlessly, and then I asked the person who posted it that how can I get through to this guy because I'm interested, and I realized that he had the problem with one leg. It was cut off basically. So I was even asking some doctors, what could it be the cause of this? So when I finally got through, got a number of a representative, we talked about it, scheduled the time I could come over to have a look. So when I came over and I started talking to him personally and then the family, and then I realized that he was actually born with it. So that makes it even more impressive for someone like him. And I got to find out that he was actually beating able-bodied persons in competitions on high jump. So I was like, this is a story that I can tell and I can tell well.
Right.
So I took time in telling that story. And fortunately, this story actually got recognition in the EIPS.
Right.
That is the highest award scheme in the world for sports journalists. And I became 5th in Africa, 3rd in fifth in the world, third in Africa, because of that story. And there was also this story I did in the Volta region. I mean, it was after the Akosombo Dam spillage happened to Mepelidis, that's a football club over there. And I got to talking with, the coach and the kind of conditions they were going through, talking about the jerseys they lost, talking about the footballs they lost, talking about these ladies who seemingly wanted to be professional players having to go to other communities to go and live there because their home place was flooded. So I took time, I think it was during one of those donations that Media General were going to make. I joined the bus with the cameraman, went to see Mepe Ladies, did that whole package and then played it.
We've been joining studio 25 minutes after 8, Stanley Newblow and Godwin Asidiba. We were just talking to Godwin last week about morticians, and he's here again. They've made us proud. So just so to remind you, our top prize winners, Media General, Stanley Newblow, Castro Senyala, Bill Ishen, and the Godwin Asidiba. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Johnny.
Charlie, this one, how much food did you eat? I'll ask all of you. How much food did you eat a day?
Did I? I don't know.
Yeah, not sure. You don't like Castro. You don't remember. There was even food. Stanley,
Nakambile.
Saturday hall.
Oh, shockingly, Nmenje Tamalemba. Use my night bus. Keba share. No nimba share. Like I was so tired.
Did you see the food?
I didn't see any food. I did not see any food.
You sure?
You sure? I mean, there's more chops that were
there was. But there was food too.
No, okay, I didn't see food.
The late of
I didn't taste anything.
The late of Ubaji say, hey. Stanley, what was your award? What award did you win?
Okay, so I won the documentary, the online category. It's my sperm merchant story. It was a hit last year when I.
Lewin will say category.
Yes, it was a hit last year, and then it went viral.
Right.
Yes, and then I think when I found the story, because it did very well on social media, especially YouTube.
Right.
That was how come probably they put me into that category.
Online category.
Win it.
I see. But what was it about?
So it's about a cartel of hookup ladies involved in black markets. So these hookup ladies, we know them as, in our local parlance, as Jantra or Ashawo. So, but this is an upgraded version of the street Ashawo that we know. These ones are hookups. They are the upgraded versions. So when a client goes to patronize them, then they will intend sell their semen in the used condoms to suspected ritualists. So one day I was surfing the internet. I was on YouTube, and then there was this video about a repented Sakawa guy narrating his story. And I said, no, this thing cannot happen. So one day I went to a commercial sex hub or slum at Circle. And during my interaction with some of the ladies, it's also surfaced again. So that's the second time I'm hearing about this.
What did you go to do there?
Yes.
Okay, so
Asidiba doesn't go there.
Yes.
Yes. So in
I live
Bill doesn't go.
I live close to that place,
but you have not been there.
No.
Castro doesn't. What did you go and look for?
Okay, so I have a friend by Intel. I have a friend who works at Ghana Railways Authority. I don't have to disclose his identity.
No, of course.
So and
even
these
the
people
cost can compel you to.
They have erected their structures on Ghana Railways land.
Right.
So, and the place get expanding.
It's booming. Business is booming.
And then we have Nigerians, Nigerians, Ivorians, Togolese, Ghanaians, So that small place has become like a cosmopolitan area, hosting a lot
United Nations.
So when I went there, that man invited me to that slum, and that was the first time I was able to access the slum. Yes, and in that slum, it will be shocking to know that it's not only the prostitutes that are working over there. They are armed robbers, hardened criminals.
Really?
So you go there to patronize a hookup lady or a prostitute, and if care is not taken, these robbers that they are also connected, they would do justice to you.
Wow.
Yes. So, I went there with secret gadgets, so they didn't expect anything, and they didn't also notice that I was filming or doing something. So when I went there, that was the second time that topic surfaced. And then I decided to scout. In Ghana, in Accra here, there is a sex or a sperm selling hub in Accra. That's one of the sex ladies connected me to. So I followed up and I realized it's in Kwabenya, in Accra. And then one is in Upper West region, where I was able to go and then get the evidence of the transaction.
Right.
Yes. So this is an underground business that people are doing. And for me, it is just fulfilling that I have been able to, my story has been able to serve as an eye-opener to the masses.
Gode,
Johnny,
what did you win?
I won the Health Reporter of the Year.
Tell me about it.
Right. So
What did you report on?
The story had to do with my period is not a shame. I had a same interview here.
Slow down.
Yeah, before
The story has to do with what?
sanitary pads.
My period is not a shame. Hey, Godwin. Stanley is going to hook up joint. You are going to Media General Boys.
It's not what you are thinking about.
Where we
please.
don't want to go, that's where you won't go. Talk to me.
So this was when I traveled to the Bono East region, Techiman to be precise, and I went to a community called Kokroko. What actually took me there was High on Glue, when the news surfaced on the internet that there were youth in Techiman sniffing glue.
Right.
So after getting all those stories
In fact,
down,
glue and fecal matter, dried fecal matter. You brought that to me.
no, I was just on the glue.
Just
I
on the
didn't,
glue,
I didn't
but
focus on the.
People were sniffing
Yeah, so
fecal matter.
apparently I also watched a documentary from Tanzania where
Right.
what you just mentioned
Yeah.
is something that they've been doing.
Funina.
And now
Yeah.
they are venturing into human bones. They go to cemeteries, do looting, get the bones, crush it, and mix it up with hemp or something. Then they just take it in to be.
Are you
high.
serious?
Yes, that's
Yes.
happening. But yeah, so back to my period is not a shame. It had to do with a group of girls in Kokroko. This is a small community, bad roads before you get into the community. You go in there, it's like a village on its own, abandoned. And I decided to go to one of the schools, and due to how the nature of the community was, I started asking some questions. So I asked the head teacher. He made mention of a particular girl who had not come to school because she was experiencing her menstruation.
Right.
We decided to go to the person's house, which took us about an hour. We had a car. We drove to a certain point, had to get down and walk about 30 minutes further to her house. When we got there, she was just...
So if you were walking, that would be like 3 hours?
Yes, and she walks daily to school and back. So when we got to her home, she was just sitting there looking really sad. I started asking her questions. She decided to show me how she uses the tattered rag to, soak the blood that comes out and all of that. It's not like the rag they use is neat or clean. These are rags that are even tattered. They don't look good. So they use the rags, as remedy to sanitary pads and vice versa. And they wash it with soap. And, for women, that part of their body is very sensitive.
That's
so
right.
even if you are to use reusable sanitary pads, it's supposed to be washed under certain conditions with certain...
That's correct.
Exactly. So I just felt like this was a story that I had to bring to light. And the community doesn't have a health center. There was a particular health center that was built for them about 4 or 5 years ago. They have the hospital beds, the infrastructure is completed, but it's been locked up. You go in there and the building, the roof, everything is just falling off. So we decided to go to a neighboring community with a health center where all these women go to. And the physician assistant there then told me that quite a number of girls visit the facility with vaginal infections due to the process they use in, taking care of themselves when they are experiencing their monthly flow. So it was just a mixture of, and it wasn't just that girl. Quite a number of them, about 4 or 5 of them
in the same community.
Exactly. So when you're experiencing your period, you don't come to school. There's a river that you cannot cross. There are certain families that when you are experiencing your flow as well, the man will not allow you to cook or even share the same washroom with him. It was just a lot of things put together, talking about how Baumia in his 2020 campaign mentioned that when the NPP comes to power, they will scrap all taxes on sanitary pads. The 12.5 VAT on sanitary pads came on it. A lot of people are unable to afford. In that village, for instance, they don't even want to hear the name sanitary pad because there was a particular woman there. When she is traveling to the city, then they'll give her some money to get it for them.
To bring
for a small girl in such a village, how is she going to be able to afford for that? They depend on farming for survival, and it was just a lot for me. And it's actually one of it's one of my favorite stories, and I'm actually excited that
thank you, Castro.
The recognition.
What did you win?
Yeah, Johnny, I picked.
First, let's talk about the one you won in the north.
Yes.
Then we'll bring it down home.
Yes, this is actually my 7th GG award.
Fantastic.
Yes, and so.
And that's why you are growing grey hair.
for what I picked this year, I picked peace and security, and then agriculture.
Up there.
Yes, up there.
Okay.
Back home.
Peace, security, yes. And agriculture.
Yes.
Okay.
But what I picked on Friday was court and crime journalist of the year.
Hey,
yes.
Explain.
Yes. And so yes, that is basically what I filed. I like the story we talked about where I exposed the gaps in the security. Insecurity rather in border communities along the Ghana-Burkina border, where I stated that I stated in that story the embarrassing state of the nature of the roads that is impeding the fight against the threats. When you go to the Upper East region, Mairo for instance, the threats of terrorism is staring directly in your face. You see, and when I say that, I mean you see people that you don't even know where they're coming from, entering through unapproved routes almost every day at night. And their security, the military and other security agencies are at the border, but they don't have so much to do because this is a place where, or this is a community where bridges that are supposed to link, important towns to it have collapsed, and they can only do much by using bikes, which carry 2 people at a time to do patrols, and it's so bad. So I shed light on all of that. Yes, and brought it down to how it's affecting the social economy of that community, the municipality, and the region as a whole.
Yeah. See, yeah. Bill.
Yeah.
The person you spoke about.
Yeah.
Trying to scale the bar.
Yeah. Gilbert Ampia.
How did you identify this individual?
Yeah, it was through Twitter. I saw a post. I usually scour Twitter every time because of
Gen Z.
because I always want to get updated with stuff, especially sports, because of the nature of my job. And I saw a post about Gilbert beating that bar, clearing that bar. It was high. I realized that it's a bar I cannot clear. Even if I try and jump and I do a training, I can't clear.
The bar cannot clear.
Oh, you can't clear it. And there was a...
Let's be fair to the facts.
I actually
please.
So
we beg you, don't go and break your leg. Reporting.
Yeah. So his run up to clearing the bar looked strange. So I was wondering, how is he running like that to clear? Then something is wrong. So there was a picture right next to that video, and I realized that he had a problem with one leg.
Ah.
Yeah, he didn't. one part of his leg was cut, and then I got to later find out that he was born with it. He was the only child in the family with that disability. Nobody else had it, and he was the 7th and the last child in the family. So yeah, so that was really heartwarming.
That was what caught your attention.
Yeah, it caught my attention. So I started making contacts with the guy who posted the video. He in turn led me to a person who works over there at the Kumfiatra part of the education service who knew him, and he started telling me stories about him and how he's been beating able-bodied students in competitions at the central region. And so I felt this was a story I could pursue. And fortunately, when I got the opportunity, it was just a one day. I went and came back the same day. Went in the morning, did every shooting, talked to the family, talked to a number of people, did the shooting, came back
and edited it.
And then we started working on it and we got it ready.
Media General Standard, fast food. Stanley, this is not your first...
DJ Awards.
No,
or
your DJ Awards. This is not the first. But this is not your first hookup story.
Yes.
Why are you interested in those,
in
those stories?
This guy.
Yes. So my own people in the newsroom have tagged me as
no, nobody has tagged you. I've asked you to explain yourself.
Okay, so this is a societal phenomenon, so I need to shed light on it.
Yes. Yeah, explaining yourself.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So it's something that before this story, not a lot of people didn't know that such an activity is happening in our society. But this, like I stated earlier, this became an eye-opener to a lot of, especially men who patronize hookups. Because when you go to Labadi today, as I speak, Logotueshi and Kojo Sadi and the place, see, they are living, the men there are living
I'm a community man, I know.
Because one of the hookup ladies mentioned that she was able to get chunk of the sperm supply from Labadi. And so the men there, as I speak, they are living in fear.
They have to live in fear.
Wow.
So
they have to live by a city standard. Certain places. Yeah, certain places are not visitable.
Yes.
You really did talk this morning.
I see. So, you gentlemen were in the room.
Yeah.
In the hall.
Yeah.
The president was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Speaker after speaker spoke about Galamsey.
Yeah.
The president never sniffed a word about Galamsey. How do you feel?
I was actually expecting him to say something about it because the GJ president, Jumfor, was very confident in the statement. I felt every word he spewed out on that stage was on point, from freeing the Galamsey protesters campaign to addressing issues of Galamsey. Everything was just on point. And when the president came on stage, I mean, definitely you have your speech and everything prepared, but all the people in the room reacted to what the president said, which we all could clearly tell that this is an issue that is of concern to not just the people in that room, but the country as a whole.
You were surprised that he didn't say anything.
He got on stage and he was talking about press freedom.
Yeah, a lot
all of that is important. We've spoken about that. That's actually an issue on its own.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what we are facing now and the things that they are addressing. He never said anything. He didn't even go closer to that.
Bill, were you disappointed as well?
Very.
I know you have to go on TV 30 seconds and then you can go.
Yeah, very disappointed. I mean, as Godwin said, the GJA president was really bold. I clapped for as long as I could after hearing what he said. And I mean, I took time to listen to the president's speech when he got the time to speak. No mention of Galamsey, and I was like, is he not going to do anything about it? And there was a video surfacing on the internet about how the president was looking at the GJ.
Yeah.
It wasn't pleasant, and it gives me an indication that I'm asking myself if he really cares about this issue, if he really wants to tackle it. It's a question that he has to answer. I know he has just a few months left in office, but he has to answer that question because...
Johnny, do you know one thing that actually happened?
Bill, you're excused.
Yeah,
thank you. You have to go on TV and deliver sports as well and win some more awards in the future. Castro,
My colleagues have summed everything up. For me, yes, I expected him to say something, but he did not. And I think one of the award winners went
Fred,
on stage
yes.
with
Fred,
the plug.
yes.
With the plug. And I think
Fred.
I was hoping that would
He would
also
have
add
said something.
Yes, would add to. I mean,
Fred
the
actually
calls.
came there, left the plug on the stage. He
Yes.
came to take it off before
Yeah.
the president came.
Yes.
Yes.
So it wasn't
So-
timely. but
then-
take it off before the president came.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
and the plug
They
was
took
even
it off.
take-
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
they
Yes.
took it off.
Who took it off?
The Globe
Hey.
Globe production.
Lateef Abubakar.
They took it off.
He took it off,
I will
and I
call
was
Lateef.
No, I feel it was maybe a distraction to the planning of the stage
so they
because
have
it
to
was
take
just plays in front of the.
But stop
Yes.
Galamsey now is crucial.
Exactly, but I mean the organizers of programs
I will
and they
call
also have
Lateef
their
after
themes.
this show
Maybe it would
and
have
ask
been a
him,
distraction.
Yeah, so Johnny, as I was
Why?
saying, I think the government needs to do something about it because I watched a video yesterday where a woman was doing some explaining of how imported water was expensive compared to locally produced water, and so this is a message that should drum some, if I may say, senses into all of us that we need to
Stanley, you were telling me
do something.
something.
Yes, so basically, at the time Fred Duho came on stage with that placard, myself, by then I was sitting next to Erastus Asaridonko. You know,
right.
he won the
Right.
Galamsey
Right.
category,
Right.
and so I was seated next to him, and he was clapping. Everybody in the auditorium was almost clapping for Fred for that
For
initiative.
the bold
initiative.
enough to do that.
Yes. So when the president came, and then by then the placard had been taken away from the stage, and so when the GJ president reiterated some of the points or echoed some of the points that Fred Duho had also expressed with the placard, we were expecting the president to actually respond, but he didn't. And after the GJ president had finished delivering his speech and got back to his seat, he was seated next to the president, and myself and Erastus Asaridonko were seated
behind them.
2 seats from
behind them. Right.
the president and
Right.
the GJ president, and
The
the
reaction
president's
was bad.
reaction.
Yeah, his posturing was.
The president's reaction was like,
Nana and Kamasem.
so,
That's why I invited me.
so I was like,
you are coming to embarrass me.
yeah. So
That's what you want.
yes. So I felt like I tapped Erastus and told him that, look, the president is giving it to our president Woto.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, yes, he's hungry. He's
Fast.
They it was giving it to him Woto like that, and I was like, okay, so probably. Then Erastus told me that the president wasn't pleased with the utterances that our president made.
You know, per protocol, when you deliver a speech and you come and sit down, or before you come, the person next to you actually shakes hands with you and says, "All done."
That didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
And our president has been a diplomat before.
Yeah.
He's been a foreign affairs minister before. He's been a attorney general before. He's now a president. He's been ECOWAS chair. He's been AU chair. That cannot be lost on him.
Yeah.
That cannot be lost on him. Anyway, Godwin Asiriba, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Belishan, congratulations. Castro Senyala, congratulations. And Stanley Nibleu,
Thank you.
a chief hookupist.
Ghana Manba. Umama yambo as